Welcome back to FreightWaves Now. And here at FreightWaves, we talk a lot about growth stories in the logistics industry. And this one is pretty awesome. Starting off as an independent driver and known as Miss Diva Trucker, Tamara Brock now owns a logistics agency down in Atlanta and has met some pretty big goals of hers from 7 years ago. Tamara, thank you so much for joining us today on FreightWaves Now. How's it going?
It's going wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
We love that you're here with us today. First things first, tell us a little bit about yourself and your story.
Okay, well, I started in the transportation industry about 7 years ago. I began my trucking career at a company called KLLM, and I went and got my CDL. I went on the road with a trainer. Then I became a independent lease operator. After my first year of safe driving, I started training female drivers. For the last 5 years, I had women drivers in the truck, and I just started documenting my life over the road for the last 6 years. So now, after going out with my trainer, owning, I paid my truck off, got out my truck, started in the logistics industry. So now I'm a freight broker, and also I have my own carrier.
That is truly incredible to do that all in less than a decade span. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind Miss Diva Trucker and where that comes from.
The inspiration is when I first got into the trucking industry, I didn't see a lot of females that did what I do as far as on social media. So I thought that it would be great. And it started off just sharing my journey with my family. I have such a big family. So calling them on the road all the time, telling them what I was doing was kind of impossible. So I thought that I would just do a video of things that I was doing every day, and come to find out, it increased to a following of over like 38,000 people that's
Wow.
watching my journey. So it's really crazy.
That's amazing. And it can be pretty intimidating to be a female in the freight world, whether you're a broker or a driver or anything in between. Talk to me a little bit about your training of now women moving into the logistics industry. How does that go? And what do you think is the most important part to really get them into the logistics industry and invested in what they're doing?
As far as women are concerned, I was very intimidated coming in this industry. You had a lot of my male partners was, very much advanced. It's like they kind of naturally learned how to shift the truck and things like that. But I caught on pretty fast. And the biggest, important, most thing that I've learned over the 6 years of being out on the road was just being safe, taking your time, not rushing, not being in a hurry. And it makes the journey a whole lot easier, paying attention to your equipment. And then all the experience that I've learned on the road as far as going to shippers and receivers and delivery, I never knew how much of an important role that we played when I crossed over into the logistics industry. So it made me really appreciate what I did on the road as a truck driver a whole lot more.
Hmm. And so you also work on the recruitment side and you kind of help bring more people into the logistics industry. And COVID has really impacted how recruitment is going, and people aren't necessarily wanting to do the same job for the same pay or the same hours. What do you think about the recruitment space currently, and how does it need to change in the future to really get more drivers in the seats?
In the recruitment part, it right now it's at an all-time high. We really need drivers ASAP, and the process is really not that fast. So there's a lot of things that you have to go through as far as getting your permit, getting your making sure you're safe, your background checks and things like that. So right now, getting in the industry, there's a high demand for so many different jobs, such as tankers, such as reefer trailers, driving and flatbed. So there is a lot of things that you can do once you get your license and become trained out here on the road. A lot of people have questions about where do I start? How do I get into it? How do I, make the first steps as far as getting my license is concerned? And basically, it's just studying, passing that permit test. Once you pass the permit test, then I usually take it from there and lead you down the road as far as getting your training, as far as becoming a solo driver. It's just so many opportunities out here in the industry, not just for men, but also for women as well.
And so you own Brock Logistics down in Atlanta. Talk to me a little bit about how it is owning your own business and making that work as kind of the middle person there.
It's a lot. I mean, my day starts as early as 5 in the morning when I'm getting calls from carriers, looking to book loads. I also spend a large majority of my time as far as searching for shippers, making sure that we can assist them in their needs. Also trying to figure out where's the niche, where do we fit in as a company and not be all over the place because there's so many opportunities out there for you in logistics. I'm learning a little bit about, now forwarding and, it's so much every day is a learning. I get so excited about it because just like I learned in the trucking industry about different types of freight and things that you can do in trucking, I am learning that now as being 1 year in logistics and all the things that happens with that. So my day, and then I do mentoring and I also teach other agents how to search for freight and things like that, helping people get in their authority. So it's I call it like the one stop shop, and it gives me that advantage because I come from a place of being a driver, being a person behind the seat. So it helps out when I'm communicating not only with my carriers, but my shippers understand that I do value the importance of having on time delivery, being safe out there on the road. So I'm able to wear that hat on both ends now, and I really enjoy it. I really do.
So you've had this step-by-step journey that really gives you almost kind of a badge of authenticity and makes you say, hey, I've been there, I know what you need, I can help you get there. What do you think has been the favorite step of your logistics journey, or what has been the most important or impactful thing that's happened to you so far?
The most important the important thing is to build your relationships, build up your people understand and is able to relate because of the background in the industry, because of sharing your journey. I'm kind of like an open book as far as showing everything of where I come from. I just didn't pop up on the internet and say, hey, I got a logistics business and hey, I'm a broker. People can see that growth from the time where I didn't even have a CDL all the way. So they can kind of basically follow your journey and follow the way that you got your experience. So it makes it a little bit clearer on, when you're talking about things, you be able to understand. I've been there. I understand what you're going through.
If you had one piece of advice to give to driver candidates, broker candidates, anybody who's looking to enter the logistics space anytime soon, what kind of advice would you give them?
This is a tough business and it's constantly changing, and you have to learn how to adapt to the change. You cannot stay just stagnant in the same place. You have to be able to change. My biggest advice to people that is either getting in the industry, whether it's through transportation and trucking or through logistics, is to not give up. Not give up. You are going to get a lot of no's. You are going to get a lot of times where your truck is going to break down. You're going to have a lot of issues and a lot of challenges in this industry. But if you just keep getting up and keep focusing and keep pushing, you will have your breakthrough and you will start to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
There you go. And you know everything about fruits of your labor. You knocked off one of your big time goals less than a decade into your career. Tell me about that goal really, really quickly.
To pay off my truck. That was the data shows when you lease a truck, and sometimes we look at leasing on with a mega carrier as a negative thing, because of the payments and you can't take your truck anywhere. But it really helped me learn how to build a business. It helped me understand how larger companies, and I was grateful for that training because I wasn't making the same mistakes as just being out there by myself. So, um, and it kept me focused. It kept me focused. It kept me in a way that I didn't have to worry about if my truck broke down. I had a maintenance. You know, they had a plan for me to have a maintenance. So all I had to do was deliver the load. All I had to do was pick up the load. All I had to do was work. And with 4 years of working, trying to pay off the truck, at the end of that, to have a title in my hand was just amazing. Now I can be able to show other people that yes, you can do it too, but you got to work hard at it. It's not going to be easy. And every day, just keep on knowing that at the end of that life, you will have a title. So that's what I love about it.
Tamara, thank you so much for joining us today. Go give her a follow, Miss Diva Trucker.